What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Washington Wizards, and we're going to be talking about different ways they can get better at the NBA trade deadline, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, looking at the Washington Wizards so far this season, they're 23-26, and they're sitting at 11th in the Eastern Conference, and even though they're sitting that low, they still have a chance for playoff contention as they can get into the play-in tournament. But we all know that this Washington Wizards team is so much better than that. We've seen it at the beginning of the season, the way they came out flaming, started off the season at 10-3, and this is a decent point in the season to be #1 in the Eastern Conference. So when they had their 10-3 record, they had the best record in the Eastern Conference. So, in this video, man, we're gonna be looking at different trade scenarios to help the Washington Wizards get back to that form. And, me personally, from what I can see from this team, I think they're lacking shooting, and I think they're lacking, defense. So this first trade scenario, I will call it a mid-level deal. It's not anything that's going to shift the balance of the NBA. But in this scenario, it will be the Washington Wizards sending Montrezl Harrell and Aaron Holiday for Robert Covington, and this deal will involve the Portland Trail Blazers. But I think the Washington Wizards, I think this deal will work out for them in a multitude of ways. They're getting a guy in Robert Covington that can, one, shoot the three ball, and two, he can play defense. And not only can he play defense, but he's very versatile on the defensive side of the ball. He can guard somebody smaller, or he can guard somebody that's bigger. He can switch out on different players if you want him to. He just adds a bunch of different things. And then also, I think, I don't think some people might consider it, selling, low for Trez Harrell. But the way I look at it, the Washington Wizards, I feel like they have the most depth at their big position. Like they got Bertans, they got Thomas Bryant, they got Gafford, and I think Trez is the oldest out of those guys, and I think he has the least amount of upside, because we already know what Montrezl Harrell is. He's an energizer bunny, and I don't see his game going past that. So I don't think the Wizards will want to give up mainly Thomas Bryant and Gafford. So I don't think they will be giving up too much. And then and we do have to be fair and talk about all aspects of this trade. We don't know if something like this will stunt the growth of, Rui Hachimura or Denis Abaca, because they play the same, position. So, that's one trade that I thought was pretty interesting. And I think Robert Covington could, do a multitude of things, for this Washington Wizards team. Second trade scenario, the Washington Wizards will be dealing with the Detroit Pistons. They will be receiving Kelly Olynyk for David Bertans and a second-round pick. And, getting Kelly Olynyk for the Washington Wizards, I think we'll be getting, they will be getting a formidable, stretch big. And, Kelly Olynyk plays for the Pistons. I'm a Pistons fan, and I think he could do a lot of great things for the Washington Wizards. He's having a pretty solid season in Detroit. I know he's missed a lot of time, with an injury and then COVID, but from the time he's been out there on the court, he's been playing some really good basketball. And, he'll provide, stretching the floor. He's not the best defender as far as, when it comes to the physical side of it. Like, he's not the fastest or strongest, but he does try very hard on the defensive side of the ball, and he's going to make his opponent work for buckets. And then on offense, like I said, he can stretch the floor. He got some post moves to his game, and then sometimes he can just be, sneaky and unpredictable. You never know, how, he's going to get his bucket on that possession, but, he just keeps the defender guessing. So, Kelly Olynyk, I feel like he will come in, he will fit well with this. This Washington Wizards offense, and I think he will help them, win ball games. And then, you might ask, why would the Detroit Pistons accept this trade? Pistons are in rebuild mode. They don't really need much. They don't really have much value of a guy like, Kelly Olynyk. And then you never know, man. David Bertans, he might flourish more, in their system with Cade Cunningham. I think he would. We get Davis Bertans, get him running the floor in Detroit, and then also his ability to stretch the floor. You never know. He might flourish more in Detroit, and then we also get a second-round pick out of that. So, those are some things to consider. That's trade scenario number 2. We're going to get to number 3. Now, this is where Now this is where, the Washington Wizards start going into their pockets, because, these are some bigger players, some trades that could really actually, shift the balance of the NBA. So this trade right here will be dealing with the Indiana Pacers. The Washington Wizards will be receiving Domantas Sabonis for Denis Avdija, Thomas Bryant, and a protected first-round pick. Now, I believe the Washington Wizards' main focus right now is building around, Bradley Beal, and I think this trade will be a step in that direction, pairing him with a guy that like Domantas Sabonis, that's only 25 years of age, and that he's already been a two-time All-Star. But we already know what Domantas Sabonis brings to the table. Every post move in the world. He can shoot the three ball. His defense is questionable, but he's a great rebounder. But anyways, he will be a formidable, second option. He will be a dependable second option, and I would love to see him and Bradley Beal, work together. They're two very skilled players, and I think them pairing them two together would be, very hard to stop. And I think that there's two very tough questions to this trade. Is what you're giving up worth it, and is what you're giving up enough? Because Domantas Sabonis, up and coming player, very young, barely 25 years old. The Indiana Pacers are going to want a lot out of him. So, it's Thomas Bryant and Denis Avdija, and the protected first-round pick. Is that going to be enough for the Indiana Pacers? That's only a question that the Pacers can ask. And then also, is it worth it? So, the Washington Wizards have to ask if, Denis Avdija, Thomas Bryant, and the protected first-round pick is worth Domantas Sabonis. And, I think that's all, that's something that they will have to sit down with Bradley Beal and have a talk with him about, because, like I said, I think he's their focal point, and they want to build around him and cater to his game. So, me personally, I will pull the trigger on it, because I just feel like with what the Wizards have right now, they're not in win now mode. So I feel like, if they bring a guy like Domantas Sabonis in, they can take their offense to a whole nother, level. So, that's that. And then, we have another trade scenario. This one will be, dealing with the Detroit Pistons again. It will be the Washington Wizards receiving Jerami Grant, and the Detroit Pistons receiving Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, and a protected first-round pick. And like I said, basically the same thing with the previous trade. You got to ask, is what you're giving up worth it, and will it be enough to make the Pistons pull the trigger on it? But what Jerami Grant adds to this team is literally everything that the Washington Wizards are lacking. They're lacking defense, and Jerami Grant, he can literally guard 1 through 4. He can box out a big for you. He can do everything on the defensive side of the ball. He's that versatile. And then on offense, he can hit, catch, and shoot threes. He can create, threes for himself. He can create offense for himself, and he will really, really help out this Washington Wizards team. And I think giving up Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, and a protected first-round pick, I think this is something that the Detroit Pistons could actually consider, because they get a guy in Thomas Bryant who can help. They get a guy in Thomas Bryant who can help with that rim protection problem over there. They get Davis Bertans. They can see if he fits better in that offense. And then, they get a protected first-round pick. We got to remember that the Detroit Pistons are a team that's rebuilding. So, I think that would be a good deal for the, mainly for the Washington Wizards. I think they get, a guy in Jerami Grant, like I said, that can help them out tremendously on both sides of the court. So, that's something to keep an eye on. And then also we had to do a Bradley Beal, Bradley Beal trade. And I think a good one would be, Bradley Beal for Ben Simmons. And let's just say Bradley Beal just wants to say that, he's not happy in Washington. He doesn't want to do this anymore. He wants to blow it up. I think Bradley Beal for Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle will be, I think the Washington Wizards will still be a playoff team, because, Ben Simmons is still he's still a really good basketball player, and he brings a lot to the table. But I feel like, Ben Simmons, with all those pieces around him, I think they're at least a playoff team, and I think they will be really fun to watch. But, you guys let me know down in the comments. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave the like, Comment down below your idea trade scenario, or do you think the Washington Wizards should just leave this team as it be and see where they finish at, by the end of the season? And then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.